somebody else to make this play. He's proven he is a knockdown shooter. He's dangerous anywhere on the floor.
There goes that man. Norval did a good job contesting. James now 22 points. He'll stare at it for a few seconds. My goodness.
I lost my train of thought, man.
Lillard, long-range three.
What's up, guys? It's your boy Ty. We got another video for y'all. It's why my favorite player, Mr. Stephen Curry, why he can be the greatest, the GOAT of point guards, not the greatest player all time, but the GOAT of point guards. Let's get into it. I mean, I agree with this shit. I mean, the nigga got the fucking what's the name? The damn nasty ass scoring. So I'm gonna turn it up, so I'm gonna sit and listen.
Alter the fabric of the league itself by showing just how efficient long-range shooting can be with his ability to drain mind-bending triples from anywhere on the court. The way his team has found such massive success with their style of play destroyed positional boundaries that have existed since the league began. Positionless basketball is the way everyone plays now, and that's all thanks to Steph. But what gets lost in the shuffle is just how great Stephen Curry is. Despite him crafting the very constitution of positionless basketball,
No, it doesn't. It doesn't get lost on how good he is. It's because niggas hate. It's because their team has so much success. If this nigga, if he never won a ring or just only won one, Steph would get. He would get way more love. But they say fuck him because, of course, you know they won all those rings and shit. And of course, niggas may not agree with how they did it, but they still did it. I mean, it still happened. Like, you shouldn't. I don't know. Niggas are very big haters. They don't want to respect greatness. Like, they'll hate on Curry and shit as if, like, this nigga was drafted into this situation. This shit just happened to happen, bro. Like, I mean, yeah, they got KD, but even before that, niggas was giving them hate before they won it, before they got KD. Like damn, like, he literally ain't do shit. Like, niggas got drafted into this situation, bro. But yeah, Curry's raw. Of course, that's my guy. But I mean, there's not really any other point guards that play defense. So I mean, at least Curry halfway plays this shit. He plays okay team defense, so at least I have something to say he's my favorite player for, because you know I love defense.
himself, at the end of the day, we consider him to be a point guard. We get so caught up in the fact that he changed the way a team's lead guard can play, that we fail to realize that he can quite possibly has a case for the best to ever play it. Before anything else, hey guys, it's Nico. It would be awesome if you guys could like this video since it greatly helps the channel, and let's aim for 500.
Shout out to his channel. Fuck with his channel. I think Specific Hoop. Shout out to his channel. Help him out. You know, help him grow. Of course, help me grow too. But you know, help him grow too. Since we react to his vids, so help him grow too.
Likes today. And if you're not subscribed yet, hit the sub button for more great NBA content. With that out of the way, for today's video, I'm going to be making my case for Wardell Stephen Curry as the greatest point guard in NBA history. It may sound outlandish, I'm sure, but I feel as though people write him off too early just because he's different, which is basically the theme of Stephen Curry's entire career. Let's start with what we already know.
Before we get into that, Steph's my guy, but like, what he did is a curse. It's kind of a curse because it's like he can't help that he's the greatest shooter, but he literally changed the game, bro. But y'all
about Steph before we get to what we don't, his shooting. Stephen Curry is a career 43.5% three-point shooter. That ranks as 6th in the all-time history of the league. But when you look at players like Steve Kerr, who leads history in outside shooting at 45.4%, he only shot 1.8 threes per game. The low volume goes for number 3, 2.4 three-point attempts for Hubert Davis, and number 5, Drazen Petrovic as well, both shooting just about 2 threes per contest. Can you even imagine the most efficient shooters in NBA history taking just 2 threes a game? Definitely not, and that's thanks to Steph. But even against his modern-day peers, we can't properly compare him. Both Duncan Robinson and his brother Seth rank higher than him on the all-time list, but the way they got those threes could not be any more different. For this one, I'm pulling up Steph's 18-19 season, since that's the last season wherein he actually played in meaningful games, while Duncan and Seth will obviously be coming from this year. Looking at the stats on how they make their shots from beyond the arc, the three-pointers that Seth makes were assisted by his teammates 78.7% of the time. Meanwhile, Robinson's threes were assisted 95.9% of the time. Meanwhile, for Steph's threes were only assisted 69.1% of the time. Meaning Curry will usually be pulling up from three while coming off the dribble, and usually with the main focus on the defense on him. The difficulty of the shots he takes is way different from the other shooters in the league, and that gives him the edge over anybody. Stephen Curry is the only one in the top 10 all-time who isn't a specialist spot-up guy. The other comparable all-time shooters are so far behind that I'm honestly a bit surprised with what I saw. Ray Allen is at 47th place in the list at 40% of his career, while Reggie Miller is even lower at 61st with his 39.5%. Not only did they not even sniff Steph's efficiency, but they also relied on screen curls and off-ball movement to get free. They relied on someone else to pass them the ball, while Steph did it all by himself most of the time. People
See, that's what makes him different, bro. Because nigga, he can be amazing off ball. Nigga is fucking immaculate off ball. Nigga will weave around them fucking screens, and nigga go around the screen, come back, go around and get that nigga do full laps. Nigga be going all through a fucking maze, getting around them screens, getting open. Like for them, they were really more of catch and shoot. But of course they could go off the dribble. But like they said, they don't have his efficiency. But that's just evolution of the game. That's why I'm like, if niggas, you can't like, I don't want to discredit those players because like nigga they were GOATs of their time, like they're the greatest shooters of their time. Like you can't try to knock on Larry Bird because like nigga, think about it. Larry Bird came to the league not way before, but like before 3-point. Niggas was even shooting three before there was even a 3-point line, bro. And then by the time they got it, he got good at it, but people can't try to like knock it, like say if he wasn't shooting that good from the field and stuff. But it's like, nigga, that was a new concept in basketball. He was one of the only niggas doing this shit, and he was winning 3-point contests and shit. So it's like, I don't know, it's just evolution in the game. I'm just saying.
don't give Steph enough credit for the one skill he's known for. He's not just the best shooter of all time. He's on another planet. Not only is Steph going to go down as the greatest shooter of all time, he's going to leave his name on so many NBA records just to make sure we never forget. We just talked about Steph's shooting, so it's no surprise that he holds the widest array of NBA records from downtown. Get ready for some NBA record vomit served up by Chef Curry. He holds the record for fewest games played to reach 1,000 and 2,000 career three-pointers of 369 and 597. Proving it's not just a late three-point revolution that brought Curry his success, but rather a revolution he really...
One thing, if he wouldn't have said it, I was gonna say that. I was like, this nigga literally is the greatest shooter of all time. And if not, he literally's gonna have all the best stats that would make him the greatest shooter of all time. But nigga just said it. But I'm just glad he brought up like some real stats, not no damn ESPN stats. I hate them ESPN stats, and it's ESPN and NBA. Them fucking out of nowhere stats. They be like, oh, nigga is the greatest shooter of all time with the highest PER in the third quarter when he was defended by LeBron. I'm like, what the fuck are these stats? I be hating those, but anyway, that's good to me. I just wanted to say that.
Started even as a young player, still on his rookie deal. Curry also holds a record for fastest player to get to 100 threes in a single season, notching a century mark's worth of threes in just 20 games. This despite James Harden putting in his best effort the last couple of years of taking as many as he possibly can. The Beard still came up short last season when he was attempting a record-breaking number of attempts of his own. He made 98 threes in 20 games, but it took far more attempts for him to do it, showing just how efficient Curry is from deep.
Yeah, Harden is very fucking nasty. Like, I already hate niggas who just care about offense, but then it's like, you a nigga like Harden, that nigga gotta take 15 threes a game. I don't know if he attempts that many. I know that nigga at least attempt double digits. I know he at least attempts 10 threes a game. That nigga don't give a fuck if this nigga is fucking shooting 10 for 60. That nigga's gonna keep letting that bitch go. He don't give a fuck. That nigga's gonna keep letting that bitch go. That nigga Harden don't give a fuck at all. That nigga's hilarious, bro. He don't give two fucks, bro. He's gonna keep letting that shit go. That's funny, bro. So like this nigga is playing less. He's been in the league less than Curry, but that nigga is close to Curry. Not close to him in threes, but that nigga, I think Harden's at least like top 10 already. Like, so Harden will be close to Curry, nigga. Cause he takes so many damn threes, bro.
Deficit 15-16 season also brought him the record for most threes in a single season with 402 made in total. That's 5.1 threes per contest in his 79 games played. Now, I really got sucked on the deep end in looking through Steph's stats, and this is what I found. Curry holds a few unique records in terms of achieving statistical marks in both three-pointers and assist categories in consecutive games. He doesn't just hold a couple of these. Steph holds 6 of these atypical box scores to thoroughly dominate this category. He has the most consecutive games with the following statistical marks. This just goes to show how overall unique Steph is as a player. He's the best at the three-pointer, but also makes sure to stay productive in other areas of the game in the process. Curry uses the threat of his three-point shot to effectively find his teammates for open looks. If you take a look at the unique stats that he has put up, it's incredible to see how he's not just a shooter, but also a player who can create looks for his teammates. Curry isn't just good from beyond the arc. He's a master from behind the charity stripe as well. He has a career free throw percentage of 90.56%, which is the best in NBA history so far. He belongs on a list of 3 all-time shooters with the Phoenix Suns, Steve Nash at 90.43%, and
Just a little side note, I just wanted to say it real quick. That's my favorite point guard of all time. Shout out to Steve Nash. That nigga is the greatest point guard of all time to me. I don't give a fuck what anyone says. That nigga's the greatest point guard of all time. Nigga is raw. Nigga's raw shit.
Cleveland Cavaliers mark Price with 90.39% as the only players to break the 90% barrier in NBA history. Jose Calderon, however, holds the record for highest percentage in a single season at 98.1%. But the fact is, Steph Curry is a model for consistency as he maintained this mark throughout his long career.
I just had to say it real quick. Look at Curry, man. So inspirational. Just had to say it real quick.
During last year's playoffs, Stephen Curry set a pretty impressive new record. Although they eventually fell to the Toronto Raptors in the finals, Curry left his mark on history.
So, guys, if you didn't know, I was talking about my defensive. That video I was talking about defense the other day. The last couple of vids. That's the shit I be talking about. That's one of the shits. The shooting this shit real quick and falling to the ground and nobody touched you. Like I fuck with Steph, but just because he's my favorite player don't mean I don't call him on this bullshit. Like nigga, that is not no fucking foul. And niggas be getting called that all the time. Which I fucking hate. Is that and then the hands up and they jump into you. Hey, I hate all this shit.
A different way. He officially surpassed Ray Allen for most three-pointers in their playoff career. He did this in the very first game of the first round against the Los Angeles Clippers. Allen's record was at 385, while Curry sat at 378 prior to the game, needing 8 threes to beat the record. In typical Curry fashion, Steph did it in just one game. He drained 5 triples in the first half and 3 in the second half for 38 points and the all-time mark. Curry then proceeded to obliterate the record, ending the 2019 NBA playoffs with 473s in total. Safe to say that Steph's going to do his part to ensure his record stands for much, much longer than Ray Allen's. But just the fact that Steph is such an amazing shooter blinds people from seeing just how good of an overall player he truly is. If you had to pick one current player to get the bucket at the rim on a dribble drive, who would you pick? You can't go wrong with Giannis or LeBron, right? Kevin Durant is also a good option when he's healthy. How far down the list would you fall, with bigger players like Russell Westbrook, James Harden, or Kawhi Leonard on the board, before you choose Steph on the drive? In the last 6 seasons since they have tracked play-specific scoring, Curry's 17-18 season ranks in the top 5 in single-season points per possession on drives to the rim. His 1.28 on drives ranks 5th behind just 18-19 version of Giannis, the 18-19 version of Blake, the 13-14 version of Kevin Durant, and 13-14 version of LeBron James. Basically, it's Steph and 4 guys who look like they could just bench press Stephen Curry.
That's just funny. But I just wanted to say that is the best version of LeBron. That is the best version of LeBron. That the Heat LeBron was a motherfucker. Nigga was scary. Oh my god. But let's go back to the video. Sorry that I keep pausing. I just had to say
Steph
that.
is also opponent at the rim score as the best guys in the league, but we never give him credit for it just because everybody would rather see him shoot threes. The game plan for Steph has always been to run him off the line, but that really doesn't work as well as people expect. Curry is also a better passer than people realize. His career marks of 6.6 assists per game doesn't look all that impressive on paper.
So that's just a misconception and when you're a good scorer, because they said the same shit about Kobe, but Kobe's the second leading assist in Lakers history. Nigga averaged 6 for his career. So like I guess that's just I'm gonna try to say this word asterisk. I don't know if that's how you say it, but that's just what they put on on a player when they're a good scorer, or like when they're known for like scoring and shit. They'll try to put that on them and say that like get this notion that they can't pass the ball and shit. But Steph is a good passer. Shit.
But it actually ranks him as the 37th highest career average of all time. People might say that it's partly because he's had such great teammates, so of course he'll get a lot of assists passing to Clay and KD. But on the contrary, the talent around him has neutered his assist total significantly. Ever since Draymond peaked in 2015, he's averaged about 7 assists per game. Durant, as a member of the Golden State Warriors, gets 5.5 assists per game. Imagine Stephen Curry dominating possessions just like Russell Westbrook did in OKC. How many assists do you think he would get then? Now that we have settled what makes Steph great, let's see where he stands within the tapestry of the NBA's storied history. Curry is a 2-time MVP and won the award back-to-back in 2015 and unanimously in 2016. The list of players who have ever done that is a who's who of the NBA's greatest players. Wilt, Russell, Kareem, Jordan, Duncan, and LeBron are the names that define the different eras of the league. The only other point guards on that list are Magic Johnson and Steve Nash. Steph has also won 3 titles. The only other star point guards to do the same since 1963 is a short list. There's Magic Johnson, Tony Parker, and Dennis Johnson. We can obviously conclude that Steph has had a greater career than Parker or DJ, but Magic is of course the gold standard when talking about the all-time greatest point guards of all time. Although Magic has clearly reached the mountaintop of NBA basketball numerous times, both in terms of championships and individual MVP seasons, what Steph Curry has under his belt is the greatest statistical season by a point guard in NBA history. You don't have to go too far down the list of greatest seasons to find Steph's immaculate campaign in 15-16. That year, Curry had a player efficiency rating of 31.46. That's the 9th best single-season campaign in NBA history, not just for point guards. The only players who have ever done better than that are Wilt, who tops the list, MJ, LeBron, and Giannis by just a hair last season. To find the next point guard on the list, you have to go down to 18 for Russell Westbrook's highly scrutinized 16-17 season. In the top 100 PER seasons ever, the only other point guards to make the list are Chris Paul at 25, Oscar Robertson at 84, Steph even
This
shows up
nigga
against
say
61
25.
for 17-18 season, before we even get to Magic Johnson's best all-time season. Magic first made the list at 110th for his 27.03 PER campaign in the 1986-1987 season. Curry has reached the highest of highs that any point guard in NBA history has ever achieved. He's gotten the accolades, the rings, and the numbers to show for it. The only thing that's kept Stephen Curry from being the clear-cut best point guard in NBA history might actually be himself. The best thing about Steph is that he isn't trying to be the greatest, worrying about his place in the history of the league. Curry just plays and does what's best for the team, just how the purest of NBA critics and coaches would want from an ideal player. Despite being one of the greatest scoring threats to ever play, his usage rate is absolutely low for a player of his skill set. His brilliant 15-16 numbers came with just a 32.6 usage rate, which ranks just 84th all time. A very low number when considering how historically productive he is. In contrast, Westbrook and Harden respectively have posted the 2 highest usage seasons ever at 41.7% and 40.5% respectively during their own MVP years. Here's the thing though, people still call Steph a choker in the playoffs and in the finals. I honestly think that he isn't, but people continue to insist on it mainly because he was beaten out of the MVP by Andre Iguodala in their first title run and twice by Kevin Durant in 2017 and 2018. That's essentially it, but the problem is that he really isn't a choker in the postseason. To further illustrate my point, let's take a look at a couple of games and series where Steph was the king. This was the year when Steph was crowned as a league MVP after posting stats of 23.8 points, 4.3 rebounds, 7.7 assists, and 2 steals a night. The Warriors were still seen as non-contenders at this time because they have barely proven anything in the league. When they faced off against the Pels in 2015, Game 3 was such a pivotal moment in his career and for the franchise. The Warriors ghosted for much of the series, but Game 3 saw the Pelicans put up a great fight. Curry and the Warriors were behind for much of the game until he went bonkers. At the 4.5 mark of the fourth quarter was when he shined. Curry missed the potential game-tying 3 a couple of seconds before, but when he got the ball, he swished it from the corner as Anthony Davis came barreling down on him. This forced the game to overtime, and the Warriors went on to sweep the series while he put up 33.8 points, 5.3 rebounds, 7.3 assists on 45.3% shooting from the field. If that's not clutch enough for you yet, check out these next two. This series brings back memories, good and bad. Before they went on to be upset by LeBron James and the Cavs in the finals, the Warriors were in a 3-1 deficit of their own. Make no mistake, this Oklahoma City Thunder team was that good. The 1-2 combo of Kevin Durant and Russell Westbrook led the charge for majority of the series, and they were helped with big contributions coming from Steven Adams and Dion Waiters. Yep, there was a time when Waiters was doing basketball things. Anyways, the Warriors roared back to force a Game 7 behind their big three of Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, and Draymond Green. The Thunder led for most of the game, but as they have continued to do, Golden State just woke up. Steph Curry put on the show and took it right to Westbrook and Durant with a monster performance that had him put up 36 points, 5 rebounds, and 8 assists. For the series, he averaged 27.9 points, 6.3 rebounds, and 5.9 assists while shooting at 44.3% from the field. You guys see a trend here? No? Okay, this one should make you understand better. The first meeting in the finals between the Cavaliers and Warriors is usually described as lacking because of the injuries that Kevin Love and Kyrie Irving suffered. Regardless, it was still an entertaining series. We saw LeBron go into what seemed to be his third prime and Steph ascending to godhood. This final series had big repercussions for both ends. Should the Cavs win, it ends Ohio's 50-year sports championship drought. For the Warriors, it would be their first title in nearly 50 years. The two titans clashed, and it was a physical affair throughout, and LeBron showed why he was the best player of this generation after he posted an average of 41 points, 12 rebounds, and 8.3 assists to lead the Cavs to a 2-1 series lead. It looked to be his crowning achievement, but Curry found the next gear in his game as well. The Warriors evened out the series at 2 apiece to set the stage for the pivotal Game 5. LeBron and the Cavs were threatening to go up 3-2 going back to Cleveland for a series-clinching Game 6. But you already know that Steph was having none of that. Game 5 was a nail-biter throughout as both teams exchanged baskets and defensive stops at key moments. However, Golden State's depth and Curry's hot shooting led the way for them to take Game 5. He finished with 37 points, 7 rebounds, and 4 assists, with his last 3 points putting the exclamation on their win. He also went 7 of 13 from beyond the arc and had a total shooting outing of 13 for 23 in Game 5. If he's still a choker to you at this point, you're crazy. Curry might be lacking in the finals MVP department, but that shouldn't take away from how great he's been in the postseason. Choker is a label made by his most ardent haters, and at this point, it should have never been applied to him. He's had many other clutch moments in the playoffs, but if I lay them out one by one, this video will take on forever. Sure, he hasn't won one yet, but these are his per game stats in the finals since 2015. In the 2015 finals, it was 26 points, 5 rebounds, 6 assists, 2 steals a night on 43 minutes a night. 2017 finals, 27 points, 8 rebounds, 9 assists, 2.2 steals in 37.7 minutes. And in the most recent finals, 30.5 points, 5.2 rebounds, 6 assists in 42 minutes a night. Let's make sense of the numbers really quick. Of the 5 years that Curry has been to the finals and won, I personally believe that he should have won MVP in 2015 over Andre Iguodala. And any other series, any of these numbers should have gotten him an MVP trophy. But as you would have guessed by now, the media's spin on these things does play a role in it. 2015 was when Iggy locked down LeBron, and 2017 and 2018 were the Kevin Durant show, so I get it. That doesn't mean that Curry is any less of a player just for that reason. Curry isn't concerned about being the man more than he is about what's best for the team. He could have easily had astronomically silly numbers if he wanted to. He certainly could take more threes at a better rate than James Harden or gotten as many assists as Westbrook if he demanded the ball more than he did. But instead, Curry does things the way he wants to, just like he always has. He doesn't subscribe to the positional norms. He bends them, just like he did when he changed what it meant to be a point guard. Steph has the chance to be the league's greatest point guard of all time when it's all said and done. And he never even tried to be one. Instead, they changed the position to be more like him. I could even go as to say the whole landscape of the NBA changed because of Stephen Curry. Let me know in the comments below if you guys like more videos such as this. Don't forget to drop a like if you want the NBA to come back already, and I'm always taking suggestions on what topics I should do next. Consider subscribing and clicking the notification.
I want to shout out to him for for the vid. I just want to stay quiet and watch the vid and get my thoughts. But yeah, I mean, Steph's a very humble guy, so I fuck with him. He's a clean cut, humble guy. Like literally, what the exact copy of me. I'm a clean cut dude. I'm humble. I don't do nothing. I just work and fucking. That's all I do. I don't party. I don't smoke. I don't drink. I don't do none of that. And that's kind of what makes him a robot to me, bro. Because it's like, nigga, he don't do shit. He's a good family man. He don't be doing extra shit. He just, I don't know. He just lives his life, nigga. He does the good shit that he's supposed to. But as far as him saying he doesn't want to be the greatest, I mean, I feel like he's probably telling the truth. But think about it. The players who don't try to be the greatest, them niggas be raw. And the players who like try to achieve that greatness, not saying they don't, but it's like it'd be harder because they put too much expectations on themselves and they put too much pressure on themselves. I hope y'all get what I'm saying. But thanks for watching the video. I have some more videos coming soon. Love y'all. Keep showing the channel love. Keep growing as you're trying to be a family. You're trying to be a knowledgeable basketball family. So shout out to y'all. I love y'all. I truly do. Thank you.